time performer doing comedy, Akash Chowdhury.
Let's go! Let's go!
Oh, thanks so much, thanks so much. Hey, my name is Akash. It's great being here, it's great being here at the show. Last year, the show was actually criticized for having too many performers that were like really attractive and really talented because it made people feel insecure about themselves. When I told ASP that I would be performing this year, they said, that's more like him.
My name's Akash. I think I have a relatively easy to pronounce name, but I feel like Indian people shouldn't be able to complain that our names are hard to pronounce, because like ultimately, we're the ones who made those names, right? Like that one's kind of on us. Like on one hand, Indian people are like, oh, all these white people can't say my name, and then on the other hand, they're like, here's my son, Balasubramanian Sri Krishnamurthy. What are we doing here? And the poor white teacher's reading it on the attendance and like, do we have a Balasubramanian? And then like whenever you correct them, they act like they're writing the phonetic spelling, but everyone knows they're just writing, call this guy Buddy from now on. It's interesting being 16-year-old nowadays. I feel like more than ever, our generation has been defined by social media. I've made a lot of fun of girls on social media, so I won't do that again, but people like that I call out the truth, Like since I was a kid, people have always called me, quote, a weak woman slayer, unquote. But they always forget to use the word slayer. It's one of those weird collective memory issues. I feel like with social media becoming so popular, it's had its own set of repercussions, right? Like I feel like people have started oversharing about their life. Like the other day I was talking to this guy and he's like, oh, I have abandonment issues because my parents left me as an orphan when I was a kid. And I was like, all right, I'll have 2 tickets, please. I don't know what to say, man. I mean, even my mom's big on social media. She loves dancing, so she watches a lot of dance videos on Instagram, which is really weird because now my mom and I listen to the same music, which is like really awkward. Like the other day, I was in the car with my mom, we were driving, as you do in vehicles of that sort. And out of nowhere, she just starts playing Highest in the Room by Travis Scott. And I'm just sitting there baffled. Like she didn't even know the song was about drugs. She just thought it was like a general commentary about elevation. What's even worse than that is not only is my mom watching these videos and listening to this music, now she started doing the dance trends herself, which is like the last thing I want to see on my feed. Like a couple months ago, she posted one where she was like, oh, I was bored, so I thought I would do a dance for you. So I'm thinking, how do I take this lady down a peg, right? So then I responded, hope you stay occupied from here on out. I make a lot of fun of my mom, but she's very supportive of me. She'll be like, oh, perform at a funeral home. They're so sad there, they need someone like you. And I'll be honest, I tried it. I did try it. I performed for this guy's grandma's funeral, and I did my set. And I'll be honest, the audience didn't really like it, but the grandma, she was dead, bro. It's tough to joke in a setting like that. What do you even talk about, right? It's like, like what has 2 legs, 2 arms, and recently lost the ability to breathe. Hint, it's encased in wood right now. The joke there is that I was referring to this guy's late grandmother. My mom's also, in addition to my comedy, she's also very ambitious about my marriage. I'm 16 now, so I got about 2 years left on the shot clock. I'm not worried, right? I'm real smooth with the ladies. Like, there was one time during summer where it hit 115 degrees, and I told a girl, hey, this weather reminds me of you. And she goes, why? Because I'm so hot? And I said, no, because it's unpleasant. Women, they want a bad boy. They want a bad boy. It's just the truth. And you might think that's disrespectful, you might think that's rude, but I saw an ad on my computer that said that numerous Russian women in my area were interested in me. Long story short, I have 7 restraining orders and a computer virus. Things are not going well. I see some pretty wild ads. Like I saw an ad for an Am I Gay test on my computer. And it's like, I feel if you're at the point where you're taking an Am I Gay test, odds are you are. Like just admit it. So I'm taking this test, right? And there's a lot of tough questions. I had to make some educated guesses, but I ended with this like big rainbow flag. So I think that means I passed with flying colors. You know, now there's also this age of political correctness, which has been a topic of controversy. And I'll be honest, I largely agree with the PC movement, but I feel like people sometimes try to be so politically correct that they end up being more offensive than they originally were. Like, I'll give you an example. There's this CNN article about this plus-size surfer named Ashley Graham. And the article is titled, "Making Waves, Women Like Ashley Graham Are Challenging Skinny and Hairless Stereotypes." Which sounds all nice, but this woman was just called fat and hairy by a national publication. How is that legal? Also, like, if you're trying to be body positive, you're saying making waves? I don't know, I would say something like making small little splashes. I don't know, right? I'm ad-libbing here. But ultimately, the system isn't working.
You know, now that I'm kind of growing up, I have to make all these moral decisions on my own. I feel like I've stopped copying the copying the opinions of my parents. And I'll be honest, I'm not very religious. I don't really believe in Jesus. But I also heard that people tend not to believe in themselves. So by the transitive property, right? It's almost undeniable. Like, I'm not trying to insinuate anything, right? I'm just saying, if you guys see any Romans around here, please do let me know. You know, I was kind of worried how that joke would go. I was scared some like Christian person would come up here and murder me. Then I'd have to go through the whole resurrection process again. My name's Akash. Thank you guys so much. You guys have been great.